With some of the first round series done, it's time to talk about the losers of those series and the situation they are in. I think there is no better team to start off with than the Grizzlies. Them getting destroyed by the Thunder in the first round was not a surprise. But entering this offseason, they are at a pivotal point since the 2022 season where they looked like they was next up. Instead, they've stayed the same while other teams in the West have passed them by. That has to do with their trio of Ja, Triple J, and Bane. Ja is now going into year 6 and still hasn't developed a reliable in-between game or outside shot, which if he did develop, that would unlock his ceiling. Jaren Jackson Jr. has improved his self-creation ability while still being a all-NBA level defender, but he's still a bad rebounder for his size. And with Desmond Bane, nothing wrong with what he is, but Ja and Jaren not growing to what the Grizzlies thought they would be by now makes this team look off. Ja is a second option who they expected to be their first option. Jaren is a third option who should be their second option, with Bane being the right third option to complement them. There is already a lot of money tied into them, and if Triple J makes an All-NBA team this year, he's eligible to get a Supermax extension. If that happens, the Grizzlies would be paying for a championship level trio that they don't have right now. And it's great that they have all this young talent in a deep team, but what good is it if your top guys are not playing up to what you need? So I can totally see the Grizzlies trading some of their young talent alongside Bane to get a star that can raise their ceiling. Going to the Magic, they have the building blocks of a contender, but the exterior of this team needs some work. Specifically, they need to add a dynamic point guard and shooters. With the point guard aspect, it's been clear for a few years now they need it. Jalen Suggs is a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's more of a shooting guard that can play point guard than an actual point guard. A guy that comes to mind that the Magic should trade for that is realistic is Anthony Simons. He would give them a point guard who's a dynamic pull-up shooter from deep. While also being a good shooter from deep off the catch, he can score from all 3 levels. He's a good playmaker and can play well off the ball. While he's not good defensively, the Magic have the defensive infrastructure to mask his defensive issues, and everyone knows this, but the Magic just need more shooters, man. I'm sorry, you cannot only be the worst team shooting from deep in the league this season, but the second worst in the past 10 years and expect to compete in the playoffs. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, as it helps the video perform better in the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Franz needs to get back to shooting 35% from deep. I don't know what happened to his shot. He gotta get rid of that hitch. KCP and Jalen Suggs need to bounce back as well. This offseason, any player the Magic wants to bring in, whether through a trade or the draft, had to be shooting at least above 35% from deep. Now, the Heat, to be honest, I don't have too much to say. After trading Jimmy Butler at the deadline, everyone knew this team was going to be mid. So losing to the Cavs the way they did was not shocking. I do like some of the young pieces they have in Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic. I believe Jaime Jaquez will bounce back from this sophomore slump. Tyler Hero played at an all-star level this year. Davion Mitchell has been playing good since being traded here. They should re-sign him. He just feels like a Heat guy, and he fits well into their culture and system. Now, I know they were linked to trying to trade for KD at the trade deadline, while obviously adding KD would make them better. I don't know if that would make them a true contender in the East, to be honest. Now, the Bucks, I've spoken about how bad their situation is a lot recently, but it's gotten worse with Dame tearing his Achilles in Game 4. Besides that injury ending any chance they had of beating the Pacers, Dame's injury was the final nail in the coffin for the Bucks championship window. There really wasn't a window anyway. They have no control over their first round picks until 2031, and they don't have any players of value they can move to bring in legit contributors. With Giannis being in the middle of his prime and him not shying away to speak to the media about his willingness to go somewhere else if the Bucks are not good enough to contend, I see all the signs pointing to Giannis requesting a trade this summer. Now, with the Pistons, they were in most of these games, but it was clear not having Isaiah Stewart after Game 1 hurt them, and there was too big of an offensive load Cade had to carry because outside of Dennis Schroeder, nobody else could create advantages. The Pistons are in a decent spot. Obviously, they need to re-sign Malik Beasley this offseason, and they should try to re-sign Tim Hardaway at the right price. Jaden Ivey will be coming back from his injury. He will give them another ball handler outside of Cade that can create advantages for himself and others. So the Pistons could just run it back next season to see if Cade and Ivy can work long term, or put Ivy and other pieces in a package to get a star creator. Well, wasn't expecting to talk about my Lakers this early, but here we are. Simply put, the Lakers' flaws were exposed to a larger extent, such as their lack of a true center, with Jackson Hayes being so unplayable, JJ couldn't rely on him to play over 10 minutes a game, and the Lakers lacking two-way role players you trust in the playoffs, as a result affecting their lineup versatility. JJ's flaws as a coach were more exposed, with his lack of figuring out how to solve a switching defensive scheme and not having the offense be more organized, which has been a problem all year. Rob needs to get to work this offseason and get the Lakers a true starting center and role players you know that can be passable or good on both ends in the playoffs. I appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about these teams and how do you feel about their current situation. See you on the next one.